Welcome back to the Irish Weekly Podcast with myself, Sam.
And me, Reese.
And me, Adam.
This podcast is sponsored by sixmedia.co.uk. We'll leave a link down to the description on the YouTube channel, and we'll also leave something in the Spotify comment section below. Go check it out for all your business needs, including banners, logos, and etc. for sprucing up your business. This podcast is the Premier League results from the final weekend.
Sunday, the 26th of July, so we are a little bit late, and I'll apologise for that. We've had various things that we've been working on recently.
Yeah.
So,
we're also going to have a bit of a quiz at the end as well.
Yes, return of the quiz.
Once again.
Return of the quiz.
Hopefully got some tricky questions for you guys.
Yeah, Adam's conjured up a horrendously difficult quiz. So I'm sure phones will be going out of my living room window.
Sam will be chucking all his toys out of his little pram.
Yeah, very small pram for a very small boy.
Still got that Nelco one, right, but we'll believe that one.
Okay. So, are we ready, gentlemen?
Yes.
Yeah.
The men of gentle. Right. First game on the list. Arsenal 3, Watford 2.
I think that was a bit of a closer game than we anticipated.
I think Arsenal go 3-0 up or something.
Yeah, I think they went 3-0 up and then Watford got 2 goals back. Just before we get into the predictor results, which is the segment that we're going to cover at this moment, did you see Deeney's interview afterwards?
After the game, yeah.
Didn't look very happy, did he?
No, he did not. He did not at all.
I wouldn't be surprised if he left this. I'm going to say this summer, this off-season 2-3 week break.
Whenever he return.
Yeah.
I can see him having another season in the Premiership at least. He can still do it. He's a big hold-up striker, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's also one of them players that would easily fill a British homegrown slot for things like that. And I think as a backup striker, I think you'd be daft not to look at him, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's out of contract soon as well. It was going back to score. It was 3-1 at half time. Goals from Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Kieran Tierney got his first goal for Arsenal, and then who scored the other one? Doesn't say, does it?
Well, it was Aubameyang got 2, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
Yeah, Aubameyang got 2, Tierney got 1, and then Troy Deeney replied for Watford just before half-time. I think the game was dead and buried, though, at 3-0, and even at 3-1, I still think it was dead. And they did show a little bit of fight in the second half. Danny Welbeck scoring against his former club as well, getting the second for Watford. It's easy to point fingers. I just think that the decision to sack Nigel Pearson 2 games before the end of the season was absolutely ludicrous. I mean, I can't remember a team in recent history that's done that.
I didn't quite get it.
No, I didn't understand it. And the problem with Watford is that in the past few seasons they've had that many different managers compared to a lot of teams.
It's hard to keep track of them.
It's hard to keep track of them all, yeah. It really is that. And I was a little bit disappointed with the result, but Arsenal probably disappointed as well. You know, they haven't had a great season, but yeah. Overall, I think none of us got that one right. Reece, you said 2 on Arsenal. Sam, you went against the grain, really, 2 on Watford, and I said 3-0 Arsenal. So.
Well, at least you got the 3 right.
I got the 3 right, yeah.
And unfortunately, we say goodbye to Watford.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to... not unfortunately, because over the season, they deserved to go down because they wasn't good enough.
I think their biggest thing last season was beating Liverpool and stopping there and beating them. I think that was the only surprising result.
I can't really remember too many better days or days for them last season that would equal that, really. They just weren't good enough over the course of the season. The thing is, if a team... It's very, very rare that you'll ever get a team that's relegated that genuinely don't deserve to go down. I mean, we've seen it in the Championship on the last day. Some of them teams that went down was incredibly unlucky. The fact that all the teams in the bottom 3 didn't end up getting relegated on the last day, that's the first time I can ever remember that.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that you'll get a team that doesn't deserve to go down that goes down.
Yeah.
There wasn't good enough over the season. Nigel Pearson did his best when he came in. They'll be playing Championship football next season.
Yep.
With half the team.
Yes.
I can guarantee that there's plenty of players in that
I would
squad
say more than
who
half.
who were good enough to play in the Premiership.
I
It just didn't
100%
work.
think they're going to lose at least 9-10 players.
You can name 3 top players there with Delafeu.
Delafeu, Decore, Etienne Capoue,
Yeah, Foster.
Foster. I think Craig Dawson might go as well.
Pereira.
Pereira. He could do a job. Yeah, Sarr definitely going to go. He will
he's
not
not
play
gonna stay.
Championship football.
When he gets the ball down and runs,
He's class in it. I rate him.
I think genuinely the only people that might have a chance for Watford next season or this coming season is the ones that didn't play much. Damari Gray, for example. I think he could do a job for Watford in the Championship. He's been very unlucky, to be honest. He's a good goal scorer who didn't really get given his chance for whatever reason at Watford and scored goals at Burnley.
well, he could end up leaving anyway. You never know.
You just don't know. You don't know which way it's going to swing, do you?
But interesting to see them back in the Championship, see how they rebuild.
Yeah.
He's tough getting out of the Championship. Very tough. It's taken Leeds a long time. Me and Sam have suffered 2 relegations, and luckily we
come straight back up.
back up.
Luckily enough.
But,
Leeds just took 15 more years than you lot.
Yeah, that's it.
So Watford playing Championship football next season. Moving on to the next game. Burnley 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2. Discuss.
Well, I think it's been a poor season for Brighton. I think they were lucky to stay up, to be honest with you. Burnley, I'm a bit of a fan of Burnley, to be fair. I like Sean Dyche, I like the way that he manages the team. I like the way he handles himself. They've got some good players in that squad.
You see, I'm not going to disagree with what you've said, but I think with Brighton, if you actually look at where they finished, they actually finished in 15th place on 41 points. So they're not the most glamorous of teams, and I appreciate what Potter's tried to do this season. He's tried to get them playing a bit better football, which is why they let go of Chris Hughton in the first place, because the football was a bit drab and a bit boring and wasn't really getting many results. I think he's won a few plaudits this year. I think he's got to be commended for how he's made Brighton go about it. To finish 7 points above the drop zone, that's not bad, to be honest.
He's done good with the team and the players.
Yeah, I mean, look, Villa stayed up on the last day. West Ham finished on 39 points, and then it's Brighton in 15th on 41. So they haven't had that bad a season. I just worry with Brighton, where can they actually go as a team? Because they don't have the finances that the big boys do. They're never going to push for European, I doubt it.
They're always going to be in that sort of level, around the drop zone. I mean, there's talk that Chelsea are bidding 40 million for Lewis Dunk. When a team like Brighton get an offer like that, I mean, if I were in charge of Brighton, he's probably one of their better players. But you'd sell him for 40 million because they'll go and buy 7 or 8 players for that 40 million.
They could probably get 3 or 4 really good players with that money that could really bolster the squad. I think it's tough. I mean, look, we can all sit here in hindsight and pretend like we're football owners and that we do this with this money and we do that. At the end of the day, you've got to weigh up one against the other. You've got to think, right, what are we losing? Our captain and centre half. What are we gaining? 40 million. What can we get realistically that's going to replace him with that money? It must be incredibly difficult for player identification. You've got to have top scouts in place, because if you ain't got a good scouting network, then it must be real tough. It must be, to try and even that money out and try and decide who you're going to go for if they do sell him.
If the thing is though, if he does go, you've got a decent centre half in Ben White to stay. If he stays, which is looking very unlikely, he's going to be staying.
He's another player that they could quite easily lose because he's not played for him. If he gets an offer from a better team, what do you do? Would you want to stay at a team that you're contracted to that you've not played for, or would you potentially want to go back to Leeds and go, hang on a minute, I've had a good season last season, Why don't I stick with the team that I've been? They want me. Burnley might want him. They might offer him a new contract.
Yeah.
I think he'd be perfect for somebody like Burnley. He's that kind of player to me, Ben White.
The thing is, if Ben White went to a Liverpool or a Man United or a Man City, he wouldn't get played. This is why I said to my dad, I said, he won't go to any of the big. He won't go to a big club because he'll want to fight for England, for an England spot, and he won't get played. With Leeds, he's guaranteed to get played every week. You're playing in the Premier League, which is the biggest league in the world. That is what Ben White needs to be thinking.
So Burnley are in a position where they could end up with, let's say, 50 to 60 million to spend, having sold 2 centre-halves, one that's not played from last year.
Brighton, did you mean?
Brighton, by the way.
Brighton, sorry.
Yeah, sorry.
They could have 60 million there. Well, they could quite easily go and buy 3 centre-halves, 10 million each, and that's only half of the budget, and they could reshape the defence. It's all that sort of money for a couple of players for a team like
No,
Brighton.
it is. I don't dispute that. I just think, in my opinion, I think Brighton would be... I understand the Dunk thing, because that's a big offer for one of their players. It is a lot of money, and I can understand why they'd let him go, but they've got to really consider this before they start going down that route, because that could be a dangerous road that they're travelling on if they're going to start selling players for that money. And there's
always a risk, isn't there? Because you sell him and you buy someone else for 10 million and he's no good and he ends up being rubbish, and you could end up getting relegated for that reason. They might, they have got some good players. I mean, Neil Maupay's not a horrific centre forward.
I think Trossard, good player.
Trossard's been a good signing for him.
I think
Aaron Moy.
Yeah, Aaron Moy, I like him. Basuma in the middle of the park, I think he's all right. They have got some good players. I worry about Brighton because they are in that club, as you say, Adam, that's in that sort of bracket where they're not really going to challenge top half of the table. Realistically, mid-table is what they should aim for,
Yes,
but
yeah.
you've always got this worry that teams that do that, is it a step too far for them? Then they end up going down and they've got to rebuild the whole squad again. And I know that's part of the risk that you take, but can Brighton afford to do that, really? They haven't got the finances to compete.
Oh, no, they haven't, no.
But, just quickly wanted to touch on Burnley. What a season, again, before we get into the predictor results. What a season they've had.
I've been a good season, Burnley.
Sean Dyche, for me, one of the most consistent managers. Say what you want about him, his style of football, and they actually play better stuff than they get credit for. Because I've watched them a few times, and at Southampton they played really good stuff and won.
Yeah.
Didn't they finish like 9th or something? 9th or 8th? It was one of them, wasn't it?
I know
there was.
They were around Arsenal.
Burnley finished 10th on 54 points. They finished on.
That's not a bad season for Burnley.
Well, it's not, mate, and I think that Sean Dyche never really gets mentioned for manager of the season.
No.
Because people have this really, really bad image of him, and I don't know why. Because for Burnley to finish 10th, and you've got
Arsenal only finished a few places above them, didn't they?
Yeah.
And yes, Arsenal did have a bad season, but when you've got the quality of players that they are, and you're competing with that, they had some good results throughout the season as well.
No, they did, definitely. So, how did we fare on the...
How did we fare on that? Well, Reece, you said 0-0.
Oh, lovely.
Sam said 1-1, and I said 1-1. So
we all went a draw.
No, we all went a draw.
Nil point.
Nil point on that one.
Nil point.
Chelsea Wolves, I believe, is next.
Yes, Chelsea Wolves is next. I think Chelsea needed this win. Goals from Mason Mount and Olivier Giroud, both in first half stoppage time. Wolves, I think, looked knackered on the last game of the season. And to be honest, that kind of continued into the Europa League run they've just had. I think they look knackered.
It's been a bit long season for them.
Yeah.
Playing all them games in Europe. But again, they've done really well.
Yeah, they have, mate. Another one, I think that, barring the season that Liverpool had, was definitely in with a shout of manager of the season in Nuno. Definitely. I don't think people actually realise what he's done with Wolverhampton Wanderers and where he's took them to in the space of 3 or 4 years. It's crazy.
Mad, isn't it?
Crazy to think where Wolves was, a mid-table championship team. I mean, coming up from League One, I remember when they went up from League One and they took 9,500 to MK Dons.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was more Wolves fans than there was MK Dons fans in the stadium. and that was in League One when they had like Nua Dicko, Bakary Sacco, Kyle Hakimi and players like that. They go up to the Championship. They played away at Liverpool in the FA Cup and won.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, they did.
When they had Helder Costa and Cavallero playing. I remember watching that game. And ever since then, where he's took them to, it's actually crazy. I can't believe where Wolves are. And the thing is, they thoroughly deserve to be where they are.
They play some very good football. They've signed some brilliant players.
Yeah. Thank God for Portuguese agents, eh?
And young players as well. It's not. They've bought some players that will develop and get better.
Yeah, 100%.
Some of the goals that they score as well. It's well worked.
One I think to watch, Neto. Really like Neto. I really like the look of him. I think the kid's got something about him, definitely. That volley he scored at West Ham as well, when they come back after lockdown, I thought, whoa. Yeah, kid's got some ability, and he's just one of many in that squad.
Some good screamers from Wolves this
Yeah,
year.
Neves scored against United. I remember that was at the start of the season. That was a good goal.
He always scores.
I was about to say, he always scores screamers.
Doesn't score
Neves.
bog standard goals, does he?
Screamers.
Remember
like
two guy that played for Blackburn?
Yeah.
Never scored a bad goal, did he?
No.
Always screamers. So yeah, Chelsea winning 2-0 on this occasion.
Chelsea going to be a team to watch next season.
Chelsea actually finishing 4th. United nipping them for 3rd place. Just quickly before we move on to the predictor results, what do we make of Chelsea next season?
They're going to be a team to watch. They are going to be a team to watch next season. They're going to be very deadly.
Just
going
quickly,
forward.
Adam, before we move on, you just quick opinion on Chelsea.
Yeah, I think if they can sort out a keeper and one defender, I can see them going a long way. I mean, I think that when people have viewed Chelsea over the past couple of years, I think they've been critical of them, and I think they've been critical of Lampard because he's not had much opportunity with them having a transfer ban to buy any players.
No.
And they've finished 4th. I think from what I read that Chelsea handed the most debuts or starts to players under 20 than there has been. There's a lot of young English lads coming through that team. Mason Mount has scored. Tammy Abrams in there. Tamori.
Yeah, I really like Tamori.
I do.
Very good player.
I rated him when he was on loan at Derby. I thought he played well for Chelsea last season. When he did actually play.
Reece James.
Yeah, another. I mean, where you think Reece James has gone from not playing for Chelsea at all to playing at the Allianz against Bayern in the Champions League. It's a meteoric rise, really, for a young fullback. I do rate Reece James. He's definitely one to watch. I think he could go on to bigger and better things. I know that. I don't mean that disrespectfully to Chelsea, but I could quite comfortably see him playing for a top team. Do you know what I mean?
With the signings, the couple of players that they've signed already, they mean business. And Frank Lampard's got an idea of what he wants. From
I mean, I actually watched a clip of Chelsea in training last week. It just popped up on my Facebook. And obviously Ziyech was in and Werner was in for training. And you just get the sense that I think they know they're onto something at Chelsea.
Them signing Werner has been...
It's a big signing.
He could well already be the signing of the season. Because from our experience of watching German football, he was class.
He was. He is the best German player in the Bundesliga. He definitely was last season. I know, obviously, Lewandowski's getting a lot of plaudits, but he's Polish, so that doesn't really count. But, I definitely think Werner, with obviously me and Sam covering a lot of German football, and I did watch a lot as well, I was really, really impressed with Werner. He's just gone from strength. He's got better every season that he's played. And I think now, although it was sad for, I'm a bit of a sentimentalist when it comes to squads that have done well together, like the Ajax squad, it's just been decimated now. it looks like with Koeman taking over at Barcelona that he's going to take Donny van de Beek with him.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Great signing for Barca if they get him back.
Yeah, it will be.
Just saying.
I am a bit of a sentimentalist, and I think that it was a shame to watch him go, but I think Chelsea could be on the summit next year. So, anyway, with saying that, how did we get on in the predictor?
Predictor. So, Reece, you said 2-1 to Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, you said 2-1 Wolves, and I said 2-1 Wolves as well. So, Reece, you were probably closest there with a win for Chelsea. We said Wolves wins. Wolves win would have been nice.
Would have been nice.
Would have been nice. We'll get a few more points on the board. But yeah, next game, Palace versus Spurs.
Yes, Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 1. Harry Kane scoring in the 13th minute for Tottenham, and Jeffrey Schlupp replaying after half-time, 53rd minute, to make it 1-1, and that's how it finished. How did we get on in the predictor?
Reece, you said 2-0 Spurs.
Damn.
Sam, you said 3-1 Spurs, and I said 2-0 Spurs.
It was a boring game, to be honest.
I think we all thought that Spurs would walk into that one and get a few goals.
After Palace being horrendous for weeks and weeks and weeks, and the one time that we all say a Tottenham win, Palace drew. Yes. So, says it all, really. To be honest with you, I think, but just before we move on to the next game, I'll quickly I think Tottenham have got a big job on this summer to shift out some of the deadwood that's in. I know Vertonghen's left.
Yeah.
They've got a big job on to shift some of the deadwood in that squad.
Right, I'll ask you both something. What do you reckon to Tottenham signing Joe Hart?
Good move.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's horrific.
I can't see how it's going to damage the squad.
I think that's where he needs to get back. Where he needs to get his career back on track is at Tottenham. If Mourinho plays him,
he's getting older. Isn't he? Like Joe Hart's not going to be. I don't think he'll play every game for him because I think Lloris is a better keeper. But I think a bit of Spurs' downfall is that Lloris has been injured. He hasn't been probably as good as he should have been, maybe due to the injuries. And I don't think the backup keepers that they've had, with them letting Vaughan go.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Gazaniga, but I just don't think he's what Tottenham need as a reserve keeper.
I think that Jose's been quite shrewd with this one. He's been quite firm and said, no, if Hugo gets injured, we've got big problems. You can't rely. I think Gazaniga is actually half a decent keeper, but you can't rely on him because he's got a mistake in him.
Yes,
he is a good keeper, just not Tottenham.
Michel Vaughan, although he won a lot of plaudits when Swansea was in the Premier League, and he was a good goalkeeper, I just don't think he's at that kind of standard for Tottenham, and he looks like he's dropped off it quite a lot. And I think it's a shrewd move from Mourinho, because I think that's going to make Lloris better, is having a keeper like that behind him, knowing that if he makes a mistake, Mourinho's not afraid to make a big decision.
No, of course he's not. I mean, he is the first person that will just drop Lloris after a mistake, and Joe Hart's in there. And the thing is, when you turn up and you see, Lloris is on the bench and you see Gazaniga in goal, you think to yourself, well, you know what I mean?
We've got half a chance
here. But Joe Hart, he's still a good keeper. He showed that when he was out on loan at Torino that he didn't do bad. And again, it's having the right manager. He obviously did something wrong. Pep didn't like him, whether he didn't like his style.
I think it was his style. Pep, he
didn't trust his,
he didn't trust his distribution.
Trust his feet, whereas to be fair, I don't think Mourinho was going to take that into too much consideration.
No, he wants his goalkeeper to save shots.
Pep knows what he wants.
Yeah,
and Pep does not want Joe.
I think you can say that for both of them though. Mourinho knows what he wants in a goalkeeper, and so does Pep. Pep wants is to play like a central midfielder, which all right, if you want to play that way, that's fine. But Mourinho is not that way. He's all about results, and if you get put in a position, you do a job there, and that's that.
And Joe Hart will do a job.
Yeah, exactly. So how did we get on in the predictors?
So yeah, none of us got points on that. We all put Spurs.
Yeah, that's very true.
What we on Everton?
Everton versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth coming out 3-1 winners. Goal from Josh King, Dominic Solanke, and Junior Stanislas, and Moise Ken equalised in the 41st minute for Everton. Could have quickly touch on this one. Bad result for Everton. Very unlucky for Bournemouth. The fact that Villa drew at West Ham, which effectively sealed their safety, and Bournemouth needing a win and getting one. and everything that's happened since then, Eddie Howe leaving.
Ake going to City.
Yeah, Ake going to City, although for big money, which is going to help him out a lot for going into the Championship.
Just lost the captain as well, and they've just lost. I can't remember who else who won.
Well, Sermon and Simon Francis have gone.
Yeah.
They're probably going to lose Josh King, Callum Wilson. I think Stanislas might stay because when he's been injured, they've stuck with him. You know, he's been injured for quite a large part of his career, really.
I think there's certain players like Stanislas, probably Dominic Solanke, that if the other players go and Solanke ends up being their number 9 for the Championship, I think a season of football for Solanke will do him the world of good.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
do.
think he's a bad player. He just hasn't produced for Bournemouth. But when you're playing behind Josh King and Callum Wilson, you're going to struggle to get a look in.
Yeah. Ramsdale's off back to Sheffield United as it looks. He's passed his medical at Sheffield United.
Yeah,
so
I did see that. Obviously, Fraser didn't play the last few games of the season after lockdown, ran out his contracts, and now
love Ryan Fraser.
I don't like what he did to him. I don't agree with that
I
at
don't
all.
agree what he did, but he's such a good player. I'd have him at Newcastle in a flash.
No, he is decent. Like, I think that's an opinion for another time on the way Fraser went about it. I think it's all wrong. Bearing in mind, you're still under contract.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think he should have been a little bit more graceful to Bournemouth. I think it was a bit disgusting what he did, actually, to be honest. Blankly told Eddie Howe, no, I'm not playing. And I think that's out of order.
You can't do that.
Not as a professional football player,
not as a professional footballer, and the thing is, it is very disrespectful. And the problem is that you can throw yourself and show. I mean, obviously, he's now in a position where other managers will be looking at him and going, "Hang on a minute, if that's what he's done to them." And I mean, he's been at Bournemouth for a long while, and he's been a good player, and he's played pretty much most of the games. I mean, was it last season? He was linked with Arsenal.
Yeah, well, I think he was the season after just that. I think he was the most. I think he got the most assists in the Premier League, just above
him
De Bruyne.
Him and Wilson were on fire that season before
class.
that.
Yeah, I think you've just touched on it there, Adam. It was quite interesting the way you worded that. I'm going to put it this way. I think what he did now, he could have thrown himself to the wolves.
Yeah.
Because he's for instance, a Mikel Arteta going to look at him and go, actually, yeah, I want him at Arsenal. Because he probably isn't. And for the simple reason, probably for something like that. Because you would always look at...
attitude.
You would always have to look at attitude. And we've said it, and the three of us have sat here and we've said it about numerous players that we've watched or seen, even at Sunday League level, that are quality players, but their attitude is just atrocious. And that lets people down. And then it means that you don't ask them people to play for your team. And if I'm going to do that with someone that I play on a Monday night or a Sunday, what are they going to do when their job is to play football? Would I want someone whose attitude is terrible? No, I wouldn't.
You want someone, ideally, playing alongside you that you'd take to the trenches with you.
Yeah, 100%.
That's someone that would bust the backside to make sure that they was doing their job, not just for themselves, but for you as well.
Yeah.
And I don't now see Ryan Fraser as that kind of player, which is a shame. But
Because he could have played for Arsenal.
Yeah.
You never know what might happen. He might have agreed terms secretly or had some meetings.
you never know, do you?
And you don't know, but it'll be an interesting move for him. Definitely next season.
It's a shame to see Bournemouth going down as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
I'm, as I've said before, I'm a bit of a sentimentalist, and I was a
Me
bit
too.
sad when. Yeah, I was a bit sad when Bournemouth went down, but I think it might be for the best in the long run. Although without Eddie Howe, I'm not so
See,
sure.
I think if the Sheffield United goal gone in against Villa, we'd have been talking a different story because Villa would have been gone down.
It's if buts and maybes.
But you never
Sam.
know. You never know.
It's if buts and maybes. A lot of things could happen from the first game
Yeah.
after lockdown until the last game of the
The
season.
thing is, that could have gone in, but they could have lost to Everton. And it wouldn't
Yeah,
have made any
exactly.
difference
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly. Which is a shame to see Bournemouth go down, but I hope to see him back in the Premier League the season after.
And
How
we
did
all
we
put
get on in
Everton wins. Reece, you went 1-0 Everton. Sam, you went 3-0 Everton. And I went 2-1 Everton. So we all. Should we give up on this predictors? That's
No, let's just go to the next
Yeah, so far, an absolute train wreck.
No point.
Nil point. Moving on to the next game, Leicester City at home to Man United.
This is where someone got a point. Somebody got a point on this one.
And it wasn't me.
And it wasn't me.
No, it was me.
Adam Oliverio.
Yes, so I got this one right. You two, surprisingly enough, as a Man United fan, Reece went against Manchester United.
Should be ashamed.
And I believe I told you off in the podcast for going against Man United. And I had faith in Man United.
I said it through gritted teeth and a bit of fear and a little bit of hoping that opposites happen and they actually won. That's kind of all thrown in the pot there for me.
Because that's what you're trying to do with all the other results you get wrong.
Yeah, of course. There is method to my madness, you know. No, in all fairness, I did back against United. I just didn't fancy us at the time to get a result when we actually needed it. But I'm glad we did. Nick third place. You know, for all the naysayers this year that United have had, especially Liverpool fans laughing at us, well, was we that bad? We finished third, so...
You can't...
Was we that bad?
For a division that's got a lot of top teams that always seem to battle it out, someone's going to have to miss out. But third place for Man United, I think Ole's done a good job. You know, I think he's got a good set of players around him. I think signing Bruno Fernandes has been what a signing.
Brilliant signing.
What a signing he has been.
Talk about a signing coming in and having an instant impact, Jesus, and it's still going on now. You know, up until the Europa League expedition, but
he'll be
still performing strong.
Yeah.
Going into next season, they've all played together for a bit longer. You know, I think Aaron Wan-Bissaka, a young player, I think he will carry on for many years being a good fullback. For
I think that's probably, apart from Bruno, Wan-Bissaka for me, best signing we've made. Yeah, definitely.
I was surprised at the money they spent on him, but he has proved us wrong, and I think Ollie's done a good job.
Do you want me to be honest with you? Of all the transfers we made last summer, Wan-Bissaka's was the only one I looked at and thought, yeah, I'd pay that.
He was class when he was at Palace.
Harry Maguire, I thought, wow, we've
signed
overpaid for Harry Maguire.
Yeah, we'll talk about Maguire.
The thing is, Sam, it's the same story every season. If United make a mistake and it's a signing they've made, he gets hammered. That's just part of being a Man United player, I'm afraid.
Being a centre half, you're always going to be open for criticism when you concede goals. And for me, looking through the past teams that have done well and have good centre halves, it's been a good pairing. And I don't think Harry Maguire is particularly a bad player. I think that he just suited playing alongside the players that he did at Leicester better than what he has done here.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Ferdinand and Vidic, I still think were probably two of the best centre halves that have ever played. And when you've got two players like that playing against each other, you know, if you were Rio Ferdinand and you looked at your right and saw Vidic stood there rather than, no offence, Wes Brown, you know, your confidence goes up a bit. It's like us on a Sunday when you look next year and you've got Liam Parrott there or something like that. You think to yourself, yeah, that's fine, I'm safe. And I think they're saying when you've got Harry Maguire playing with Lindelof, yeah, I don't have a lot of confidence, and I don't think he would either.
No, the thing is with Vidic and Ferdinand and Neville, and you can go on and on. They wore that badge with pride. If they didn't wear that badge with pride, fans would be asking, why are you not wearing that badge with pride?
And Ferguson would give him the airdryer.
Exactly, but Vidic, I agree with you. Vidic and Ferdinand will still be two of the best pairings in the Premier League.
Well, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's the best Premier League defensive partnership ever.
100%.
And I can't...
Not 100%, I won't say 100%, but they are... In my generation, they are two of the best centre halves.
What infuriates me is I know we're going to get Liverpool fans screaming at this podcast saying, what about Van Dijk and Gomez or Van Dijk and Matip? Come back when you've won 7 Premier Leagues.
And you've won. I was going to say won the Champions League, but
I'm going to stick up for Arsenal fans here, and actually Tony Adams, Steve Bold, Martin Keown. I think that era as well. They're Arsenal centre backs. So
I think I would agree with you if they did it for longer.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I would agree with you 100%. To some of the best centre halves we've had in this country, and especially English. I just think if they'd have done it for longer, then I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
See, I'd have said Chelsea as well with John Terry, but John Terry never had a decent partner with him.
I don't know. I'm not so sure. I think Terry and Carvalho was pretty formidable. I still don't have that as the best defensive partnership.
No, they're up there. I'd still pick Ferdinand and Vidic.
100%.
That's not biased either. If I was a fan of another Premier League club, I would say Ferdinand and Vidic.
Yeah.
Because they've had a lot of success together. And it's not just the success they had as a team, it's the attributes they had as players. Vidic would run through brick walls to make sure that ball didn't go in the back of the net. And he regularly walked away with broken noses, bloody fractured eye sockets, the full works, and that's just from getting kicks from people. And Ferdinand was a ball-playing centre-half who could defend.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not very often you find that.
No, we don't.
So,
definitely not.
Just a quick one. Did Leicester get into the Europa League? Did they get into the Europa League?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. I thought so.
Should have ended up in the Champions League, but didn't.
No. Right.
So, moving on to the next one. I think, to be honest, we was all pretty close with this one.
Another point.
Manchester City 5, Norwich City 0. Can't really say I'm surprised with the end result. Gabriel Jesus, Kevin De Bruyne getting 2, Raheem Sterling and Riyad Mahrez.
Have any of you seen both of De Bruyne's goals?
Yep.
Oh my! Have you seen them?
Yeah.
He's a joke. The guy's a joke.
He is a phenomenal footballer.
Do you think, I'm not disagreeing with this by the way, but do you think he should have won Player of the Year?
No. Henderson deserved it.
I think he should, to be fair. I think he should.
It's definitely one of the two.
I think he's been so consistent.
I'm not sure which way to go. I understand why people would want to give it to Jordan Henderson, and I'm not disagreeing with him, but I also think De Bruyne should be in with a shout. He's been really one of City's only bright sparks this season. They had a poor season by their standards, and he was still outstanding.
The only reason I wouldn't say De Bruyne is because he didn't win as much as John Henderson did.
Yeah, but right,
this is the only reason why I think fans have chose John Henderson.
Yeah, but this pisses me off, Sam, and this is the argument. It's like a popularity contest because a Player of the Year should not be judged on how many titles they've won.
No.
It should be given on the contribution that they've made to their team. You could still have a case for Henderson in that. I'm not saying you couldn't, but I think this whole thing gets very twisted when it comes to who goes in the team of the season, who wins the Ballon d'Or, Player of the Year, things like that. It's a popularity contest and it pisses me off.
Jordan Henderson's clearly a good footballer, or else he won't be playing for Liverpool. But I think that there are a lot better players in the Premier League and other teams than Jordan Henderson.
I only think that is my opinion. I think he's only won it because he's won the league and he's done whatever. That's the only reason why. If he didn't, then De Bruyne would be all over that.
I think if Man City had won the league,
if Man City had won the league,
Henderson wouldn't have won.
Yeah, he wouldn't have won it.
I think De Bruyne would have got
De Bruyne would have walked
which is wrong.
Yeah,
because it's almost like saying that you're man of the match just because a player scored 4 goals means he gets man of the match. Well, not necessarily.
What about the people that are supplying?
Exactly.
What happens if the same person's taken 5 players on and then P-rolled it round the keeper and then he's just been on there to poke it in 4 times?
Yeah.
I mean, anyone can stand on the goal line and poke it in.
Yeah.
It's the contribution of the other players.
Yeah, and that's my argument is awards and things like that, it's just very biased and it's very popularity based, and it's something that I think needs to change. I don't think it helps with the way that they do the voting system, because half of it's down to Premier League players and half of it's down to football writers. And some of the views that I hear from football writers, I don't think they've ever watched a game of football in their life.
Yeah.
So going on to the predictor, how did we get on?
Reece, you said 4-0, Sam went 7-0, and I got the point with 5-0.
You did.
So, anyway, quickly moving on. Moving on to the next game. Newcastle 1, Liverpool 3. Oh, sorry, Liverpool.
And we got another point.
Have we?
Have another point in this game. So, Reece, you said 3-1.
It was Reece that got the point.
Wowzers, and I didn't even remember.
Reece, well, to be fair, I watched the game.
Yeah, I did.
I watched bits of it,
It worked great.
It wasn't the best game to watch. I mean, our goal, we scored in 20 seconds, I think it was.
It was very clever play
From Shelby
from
and Gale.
Shelby. I mean, I think them two play really well off of each other. Gale seems to get Shelby.
See, I've always said this. I think Gale should start for the time being until we get a decent striker.
Yeah.
He has to start. And I'm sorry, but if Callum Wilson comes, I've heard rumours that Richie and Gale are going to Bournemouth. Don't want it to happen. I love Gale to bits. I loved him when he was in the Championship. I loved him when we come back into the Premier League, and I still love him now. He has to start, in my opinion.
He's a good finisher.
Yeah,
I think he can count himself really unlucky, to be honest with you.
Love Gale, mate.
Yeah.
Love him so
I've
much.
always rated Dwight Gale. I've always thought the guy can score goals. It doesn't matter what level you play him at. If you give him a chance, he might score.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's more than you can say for a lot of players. I mean, look, I still say stick with Joe Linton, give him a chance. There will come a point when you have to abandon that and say, well, no, we need goals. You know, we need someone to do better.
If he scores a hat-trick against Leeds, I'll forgive him.
Dwight Gale hasn't done himself any harm, though.
No,
Of course he hasn't.
He's definitely
Of course
put
he
himself in Steve Bruce's eye line.
If you ask any Newcastle fan about Dwight Gale, they'll say his work rate is unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. I've watched
His
him
work
play
rate
plenty
is
of times.
sensational. That's why I love him.
Since lockdown, Joe Linton's work rate has
Exactly.
been unbelievable. He's been putting himself about, and I hope Reece is right, and I hope that he does come good
Yeah,
for us.
I hope he does.
I hope so.
I hope he does.
It
But-
is a big shirt and a big number to bear.
Yes.
And that could have affected him. You don't know, because I don't know what it'd be like. Hopefully next season.
Well, speaking from experience, I've seen the same happen with the number 7 at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
Can lay heavy on some players.
Di Maria, Sanchez, Owen. I can name a few there. But yeah.
So yeah, Reece got the point in this one. Sam said 2-0. I said 2-1. So yeah, well
He's
done,
got the
Reece.
point. Well done,
Reece.
Reece.
So moving swiftly on, Southampton versus Sheffield United.
Yes.
Another point.
Southampton 3, Sheffield United 1.
And Sam
Sorry,
can't
I was wrong.
read.
Yeah, John Lundstrom scoring in the 26th minute for Sheffield United. Shea Adams replying with 2 against his former club, and Danny Ings scoring a penalty just 6 minutes from the end.
I've said the biggest brain fire. I thought this was 2-2.
Really good result for Southampton. Finished the season really strong, and I think they could be. I think if they get a few decent additions in, and to be fair, they've just bought Salisu from I think it was Valladolid,
yeah,
centre half from Valladolid.
They've also
Really handy.
They also got Kyle Walker-Peters as well.
Yeah,
And
on a permanent transfer.
Yeah.
That's a good
And
move.
Højbjerg went to Tottenham.
Yeah, I know they've lost Højbjerg, but I think if you look how they've played in the latter part of the season, he wasn't in the team.
I don't think he'll be.
He wasn't in the team for the majority of it.
No, I don't. I think they'd be able to get someone else to fill that.
Yeah,
fill that
definitely.
slot. I mean,
I actually, if they can get good additions, I think they're dark horses for Europe next year.
I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for
Yeah,
Southampton.
I have. Honestly, I have.
From players like Ryan Bertrand, and then Graziano Pella,
Yeah.
Tadic,
Mane was at Southampton.
Mane was at Southampton.
Lallana.
Yeah, and I think Ings this season has been phenomenal for
Yeah.
us.
Sensational.
100%.
Hopefully, we'll see good things. Not the result I would thought Sheffield United would get, but
They didn't turn up, mate. Sheffield United didn't turn up.
But really, they've had a good season. Yeah. You know, the last game of the season, they've not had a great result. But to be fair,
Do you know what I loved about Sheffield United? And I actually watched Chris Wilder's interview straight after the game had finished. He was fuming, and I said in previous podcasts, and I stand by this. Through gritted teeth, I might add. I think Sheffield United are going to really struggle next season.
Teams will figure them out next
But
season.
one thing I do think, Chris Wilder will not let standards slip. After watching that interview, he was absolutely livid with how his team had played. He said, I cannot believe a bunch of professional footballers have turned up with an attitude like that. He said, we never even got started. And he said, fans, I'm just glad the fans didn't have to travel here and watch that garbage. And I thought, do you know what? It can go one or two ways when the manager does that. Because players it can rub them up the wrong way, but it can also kick them up the backside.
He is right. They've had such a good season, and you don't want them to switch off. You want them to be. It's like a sprinter only sprinting for 90 metres out of the 100 metres, and then the last 10. That you don't want that, and I think he needs to make sure that they go into next season at that same level, at least the same level, if not more.
I think
to build on it and.
I do think Sheffield United are going to need some additions to the playing squad. I don't think they can do the same next season with the same squad.
Every team does, but it's going to be an interesting one with COVID and finances with all different clubs. It's going
I
to be
think
a
Chris
really
Wilder wants to
interesting
count
one.
himself very unlucky that he didn't get manager of the season as well.
Yeah, I think if they'd have got into Europe, I think he'd have had a serious case.
Yeah.
They did tail off a little bit towards the end of the season, but yeah, 3-1 finishes for
3-1.
Southampton.
None of us got that. I got 2-1. Sam 2-all. Reese 1-all. So I was only
only one off.
Goal off on that one.
Not
so
far
bad.
off, mate.
Last game,
Yeah,
West Ham versus Villa.
the game that West Ham was already safe. Aston Villa sealed their safety. Jack Grealish scoring 6 minutes from time and Andrei Yarmolenko equalising a minute later for West Ham. West Ham, a beneficiary of a very strong finish to the season, exactly when they needed it. And I think David Moyes now has got to go into next season with a clean slate, get the players out that he wants to get out, get the players in that he wants, then judge West Ham.
Yeah.
Because I think he got harshly treated the first time, and the owners, to be fair to him, they did say, look, we made a mistake in getting rid of him. It's very rare that owners will come out and say that.
Definitely, yeah.
And I know, say what you want about Gold and Sullivan, but, you know, they do have a...
They've got
I say this very sarcastically. They have a certain amount of integrity when it comes to the how they've operated the football club. I'm sure West Ham fans would like to disagree with that.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, good finish to the season for West Ham. Villa getting a vital point.
And stay up.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's another
Much to
easy
Sam's dismay.
another easy team for some points next season.
Don't say that at all. Do not say that because they beat us at their place and they got a draw against us at our place.
to be
So let's
fair,
not-
you was pants.
Yeah,
at
we
Villa.
were-
we was
Pants,
shocking
yeah.
at their place. Yeah, we was.
So, on that one, Reece, you went 2-0 West Ham. Sam, you went 1-0 West Ham. I went 2-all draw.
Yeah.
So, Sam got no points. Well done, Sam.
Thank you.
Yet again.
Reece got 1.
We
I
go
got
again though,
2.
boys. We start the season fresh and we go again.
So, do you want me to just round off the Premier League table as it finished for
Go
the
for
last
it.
Yeah,
game
go on then,
before
mate.
we get into the quiz? Liverpool finishing top in first position on 99
As
points.
champions.
West Ham finishing West Ham.
West Ham?
West Ham. West Ham finishing second. Manchester City finishing second on 81. Man United in third on 66. Chelsea in fourth on 66, losing out on third by goal difference. Leicester finishing in fifth on 62 points. Spurs finishing sixth on 59. Wolves finishing seventh on 59. Arsenal finishing 8th on 56 points. Sheffield United finishing 9th on 54. Burnley in 10th on 54. Southampton in 11th on 52 points. Everton finishing 12th on 49. Newcastle finishing 13th on 44. Crystal Palace finishing 14th on 43. Brighton in 15th on 41 points. West Ham finishing 16th on 39. Aston Villa staying up by 1 point, finishing the season on 35. And Bournemouth finishing on 34 in 18th place. Watford in 19th on 34. And completing the table, Norwich in 20th on 21 points.
So, that wraps up our season. I've enjoyed the podcast for the season.
I have.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. It's been good. We're going to come back with some fresh ideas, plenty of good content to come over the... Well, I was going to say pre-season break. We can't even call it that this
Can't
year.
even call it
It's like a
pre-season.
small holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to Dubai and back.
That's it. So we're going to spend a week or so just probably
Refreshing.
doing a load of podcasts so that we can just get a load out, some good content for all the listeners, and we'll see where we go. But carrying on,
It might just be me and Reese because Adam's busy with work right now, so it could just be me and Reese. It might be all three of us. Hopefully we can all be all three.
Hopefully Adam gets out from underneath that thumb. No, I'm joking. I am joking for the listeners, by the way, just before anybody takes offence.
Anyway.
but on to the quiz.
Yes.
So we will get through this 10 questions,
Are we cheating?
all on football. We will see how we get on. So, question 1.
Mm-hmm.
From which club did Newcastle United sign Jermaine Genas? Looks like that cog has flicked into gear for Reese.
Yep.
I think it's these. I might be wrong.
You might well be wrong,
Yeah,
Sam.
go on.
I'd be very disappointed if you were. So, which England player was famously never given a yellow card?
Mm-hmm.
I know this.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it looks like race does as well.
Yeah. Got that one.
Got that one.
What international? Can you repeat the question, please?
Which England player was famously never given a yellow
Oh,
card?
So
do
was
you
this-
know what? I'm second guessing myself
Was
now
this
because I'm
was
sure.
this for England or was this for his club as well?
No, for England.
Right, for England.
I think.
Got a feeling it's this guy. but
I
don't
think
it
it's
is.
this guy, but I'm second guessing myself
I will
now.
just double check that.
Oh no, it's not.
As to
Oh, is it? No, I think it is this guy.
This guy.
I've got two, but I'm going to go with my
Okay.
second one because
That's
I think
fine.
it is this
we
one.
might come back to this one. Question number 3. What was the first British club Mikel Arteta played for?
Mm-hmm.
You got an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4. What year did Nike first become the official ball supplier for the Premier League?
Oh my god.
Oh, hang on. I'm going to have to do a bit of brainstorming here because I remember most of the old ones.
Yeah, I do as well.
Did you want the actual season or just the year?
The year.
I think it's this, but I don't think it.
Oh, I remember when it started as well. I can picture it in my
What
head.
is it? Is it like 2014, 2015 season?
No, it's
Or do you just want the year?
just the
Yeah,
year.
alright.
Right, I'm going to go with this, and if I get it wrong, I'm going to be seriously annoyed because it's one or the two. Now, in fact, I'm going to put 2 down, and I'll go with one of them.
Yeah.
But I can picture the old ones.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
as well.
Question number 5. Which Barcelona midfielder joined Chelsea in 2011? So you'll need to rack your brains for this one.
Oh, wow.
I ain't got a clue. 2011.
And just to go back to the yellow card question, never received a yellow card for club or country.
Right, cool. This is going to annoy me. This.
Yeah, which Barcelona midfielder joined Chelsea in 2011?
I'm gonna have
Do
to
you want
pass.
to come
on
back to, should we come
I'm
back to that
pass
one?
on.
Yeah,
I've got a
come back
clue.
to that one. I'm a bit...
Question number 6. Which country could Germany star Lucas Podolski have played for?
I know this.
Number 6, do you say?
Yeah.
What country could he have played
Could he
for?
have played for?
Yes.
Oh, no,
I know
I know
this.
this one.
Thought
Yeah,
you
I
might do, yeah. So question 7. Who famously missed 3 penalties in one international game?
I know this one. I saw this last week, and I remember the player that did it. And I know what country it was for.
So I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to-
that is so weird you've asked that
Really?
question, because I literally saw that last week.
I've had to put. I ain't got a clue.
I remember.
year-
I remember him watching him
What
do
year
it.
was it?
Well, I'm not sure on the year.
Oh, right,
Early
never mind.
2000s.
Because he actually had a freak accident and snapped his leg on an advertising board.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I know who it is, yeah. That's strange. That is real weird.
Question number 8. Which club left their Filbert Street Stadium in 2002?
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah, I know this. I don't know if it's a mascot.
Question number 9. Who captained Stoke in the 2011 FA Cup final?
Oh, was it? Oh no, it isn't. No, it is this guy.
I remember they played Manchester City. I remember they played City in the cup final, but I can't... Well, I've got a feeling I know who it is.
I think it's this guy.
You think it's that guy?
Yeah.
I like these.
Yeah.
These are good
I like
questions.
this question.
You ready for question number 10?
Yep.
Hang on a minute.
No,
No, it wasn't. I
go
think
on.
it was this. Yeah, go on.
Go on.
Yeah. How many England goals did Andy Cole score?
Oh, wow. Because he didn't... I don't think he played for England that many times.
Thank you.
Well, you think
I've gone...
You think about it. When Andy Cole was playing, you had Alan Shearer, Les Ferdinand, Teddy Sheringham, Robbie Fowler.
Yeah, I'm going to go with this, and I could look really stupid with this answer, but yeah. Question number 5. Go back over that one.
Yeah, go back to question 5.
So, yeah, which Barcelona midfielder joined Chelsea in 2011? And this may be...
I'm going to kick myself. I don't know who it is.
Still playing in the Premier League today.
I think I know who it is, I actually...
What team does he play
Joined
for?
Chelsea.
Yes, so he joined Chelsea.
Right, yeah, I think...
I'm not giving you any more clues.
No, I think I know who it is.
I probably will kick
I
myself.
think... did he... Right, I know you can't, obviously. Did he play last season in the Premier League?
Yes, he did, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure I know who it is. I think I've got it.
Right, so we'll go...
I probably will kick myself.
We'll go through these, and I'll be disappointed if you get this first one wrong, Sam, so I'm going to ask Reece first, just to see your reaction. So, which club did Newcastle United sign Jermaine Genius?
Nottingham Forest.
What have you put?
I put Spurs, but I think it was after.
He went to Spurs after.
It was one
after
of
us. So yeah, Reece, yes, Nottingham Forest.
I knew it was before. I knew it was he joined before or after. I can't remember.
So, which England player was famously never given a yellow card? Sam.
I put Neville, but I think it's Lineker.
I put Gary Lineker.
Gary Lineker is correct.
Yes, get it.
Can I have that one? Yeah.
No.
Just put Gary Neville.
Oh.
That was the first answer you gave.
Answer.
Oh.
Question 3.
Do you know? Sorry, just quickly. Do you know how I knew that? Because when they released that podcast during lockdown about goal scorers,
Oh, of course, yeah. It was on. Yeah,
it was on there. That's where I remember seeing it. Right. Anyway, question number 3.
First British club Mikel Arteta played for?
Everton.
I put Everton.
No, Rangers.
Oh, of course! Oh, of course! Damn it!
Chuck that one in there. Just
I put Everton.
Get you wrong. So question 4. The year that Nike became official sponsors.
I put 2002.
I put 2002.
Oh, you're both wrong.
Am I a year out?
2000.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hang on a minute though. That is a bit of a trick question, right? Because it doesn't say what year did they first start using the balls.
It says what year was they became the official ball supplier.
Because I remember I had the old Mitre ball that they used in '99.
Yeah.
When United won the treble,
So
I had
the
that
year
one.
after would have been the Nike one.
Ah.
I'm going to put CrossFit go out now.
Question 5. Which Barcelona midfielder joined Chelsea in 2011?
I'm going to look pretty stupid if this is wrong. I think it's Oriol Romeo.
It's Oriol Romeo. He plays for
Southampton.
The ball.
Because he was at Chelsea and never played for him.
Never
really
realised he played for Barca.
Yeah. So the country that Lucas Podolski could have played for?
Poland.
Turkey.
Poland.
Is it?
Yes.
It's not. That's Özil, who's
No,
Turkish.
no.
Yeah, it is.
Podolski's Turkish as well.
No, he's
half
not.
Turkish.
He's not.
Well, he might not have been able to play for him, but he's eligible to play for Poland. So.
Sam, Lucas Podolski is
Poland.
not Turkish.
Poland.
Mesut Özil is half Turkish.
Question 7. Who famously missed 3 penalties in one international game? Sam, you haven't got a clue, have
I
you?
put Brazil.
Martin Palermo.
Martin Palermo.
Never even knew that.
Argentina
Sorry,
striker,
no,
snapped his leg on an
Argentina.
advertising board.
Never heard of him.
Which club? How can you not have heard of him? You need to research Martin Palermo. Championship manager. What a striker.
Yep.
Question 8. Which club left their Filbert Street Stadium in 2002?
Leicester.
Leicester.
Yeah, I put Leicester.
Who captained Stoke in the 2011 FA Cup final?
Right, I've got 2 possible answers here, and
Same.
I'm unsure which one to go with. Oh, this is tough. I'm going to kick myself. I'm going to say Ryan Shawcross.
Was it Everington? Matthew Everington?
No, you're wrong. You're right. Ryan Shawcross.
Was it?
I had Ryan Shawcross or Glenn Whelan.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Glenn Whelan, yeah, of course.
And the last one. How many England goals did Andy Cole score?
Go on.
None.
11?
1.
Damn it!
1 goal for England.
Wow.
Well, I tell you what.
There you go.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7.
I'm quite happy with that.
Sam, how many did you get?
1.
1.
Good. There were some good questions.
Good
though.
effort.
Yeah, I
There were
really
some
like that.
questions.
You know.
There's I'll dig them out and we'll do some more. We'll do some rapid fire ones. But that's it. That's time up for the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable, gentlemen.
Big thank you to you both.
Yeah, and thank you to the
Thank you.
sponsor, Six Media, which we are in negotiation for going into next season as well, with it being our main sponsor.
Yeah.
Although we don't have to do a great lot of negotiating. But anyway,
Thank you to all the listeners as well.
thank you to all the listeners. It's been a massive pleasure, and we will see you very shortly.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
See you soon.